from the News Channel 5 Network. This is Score on Business.
Hi, welcome to Score on Business. I'm Pete Hendricks, a serial entrepreneur, and your host for today. SCORE is an organization which is geared toward helping entrepreneurs and small companies succeed. There's no-charge counseling. There are very low-cost classes. There are a lot of things to help people succeed. And I mentioned on a show recently, the head of the Small Business Administration with the government was commenting that small business needed fewer loans and more coaching. And at SCORE, we'd love to give you a hand. And the website is scorenashville.org. Okay, so let's get to business. Our first guest today is John Boyens. Thanks, John, for being here.
Pete, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and John is a sales productivity expert, a business strategist, and the co-founder and president of the Boyens Group. They are a sales management and marketing company as well as training.
Yes.
I got that a little mixed up. But so, John, and also their website is boyens.com, BOYENS.com.
Thank you.
So, John, secrets to market dominance. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I think when business owners really are trying to figure out how they can go ahead and grow market share, grow their business, there's 5 or 6 things that they should focus in on. The first thing they have to focus in on is to define success. Understand what their key performance indicators are. How are they going to measure success? Second, they need to know who their customers are and then segment those customers effectively. Third, they need to know who their competitors are and how they can differentiate themselves from their competitors. They also have to use the marketing 4 Ps, if you will, or we call the 5 Ps because we add positioning to that, so they can distinguish what makes them unique. Fifth on the list is to be able to establish a go-to-market strategy that has an inclusive of that, a written sales and marketing plan. A lot of people have a business strategy that they present to their banker or their investor, but they don't have the sales and marketing plan in place to go execute to ensure success. And then lastly, and maybe not in that sequence, is the ability to leverage social media, to be able to really have a virtual business strategy that gets them out, gets their brand out.
Wow. Those are really solid points.
Yeah.
And I really like where you're talking about having a sales and marketing plan and working with entrepreneurs. One thing I have noticed is it's hard to get folks to be comfortable with getting out and gaining customers.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, if you think about this, most entrepreneurs, and it's really the reason that a lot of small businesses fail, is because they spend so much time working in their business, they never get a chance to work on their business. In other words, they're tactically involved in the day-to-day activities, and they don't get out there and work on the strategic part of growing their business. I mean, if you focus on growing your business, it's always going to be there. Right? But if you focus on just operating your business, there's a chance that it may not succeed.
Right.
So I want people to focus in on being able to do that and get more strategic in their business.
Right. So is there any other, what are a couple of examples of working on versus in?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that every business owner can do very quickly. And the first is to identify a person, a company, or an entity that can give them unbelievable presence in a short period of time. Somebody that really can connect them with into different areas. I think being able to identify those kind of tasks that you could delegate, that you could stop doing, that you can really offload to somebody else is another big part of that. And then thirdly, I mentioned it in the secrets to market dominance, is to be able to leverage social media. It's not going away. And so people need to have a presence on Facebook. They need to be able to tweet and establish their subject matter expertise. They need to use LinkedIn. They need to use Pinterest. They need to use blogging as a key, so that they establish their brand outside of just delivering a product or service, but really subject matter expertise.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
So what are some best practices for building the brand?
It really depends upon the industry that you're in. If you're talking to a small business owner who sells in the retail trade, as an example, so maybe it's a hotelier, maybe it's a hospitality or restaurateur or something like that, you're able to use some capabilities that B2B businesses can't use. As an example, if you were a restaurateur and you ended up doing a vehicle wrap makes 600 impressions per mile. So you start thinking about that. I mean, how often are you on the 65 freeway or the 24 freeway around town, and being able to see that out there, you know, so being able to use branding in that way, being able to, again, offer coupons and discounts, and being able to offer things directly to the phones and the iPads and the tablets that cause you to be able to take an action. You know, wouldn't it be great if you did some social media marketing at 4 o'clock on a business day saying something like, don't want to cook tonight? Here's $4 off a pizza at fill in the blank, or those kind of things. So I think being able to vary the message, varying the medium, and then varying the frequency will give people that opportunity to start to build their brand successfully.
Okay, awesome. So tell us about LinkedIn for business development.
I use LinkedIn very effectively for business development, and we probably could do a whole segment on that pretty easily. I'll just use an easy one, though, to start off. A lot of people get LinkedIn requests, and they really don't understand what to do. Either people accept all of them, decline all of them, or do use some other kind of method. What I recommend people do is, if you know who the person is and you accept their invitation, the first thing you should do after accepting them is to be able to go in and look at their contact list and see if there are people or companies that you might want to do business with. Then you send a note out. Hey, Pete, thanks so much for sending me your LinkedIn invitation. I just accepted it. Really appreciate you asking. Oh, by the way, do you know Sally Smith at XYZ? I see you're connected. I'd love to get with her. So it's the idea of not just accepting it and going on, but it's the opportunity to be able to work that list. It's also really important to stay on top of changes. So I get the weekly digest on LinkedIn. And what I look for there is, does somebody have a new job? Does somebody have some new recommendations or endorsements that are going on? So I can send out a really quick message saying, hey, Pete, congratulations on and you'll be amazed how often that brings back you to top of mind. So if you're trying to grow your business, they see you as somebody that's not trying to be a pushy salesperson, but really being somebody that's a connector in the marketplace. What better way to do it?
Oh, yeah. We probably should have you come and do a segment on LinkedIn, because there's LinkedIn publishing. There's, you know, I call on CIOs, so I'll go search on that topic, and there's just those people. And so tell us, keys to B2B selling.
I think B2B selling, business to business versus direct to consumer or B2C selling, is really a different animal. And I think you have a chance to do some things differently if you just plan it out better. So I'm going to give a couple of keys to that. One of the things that I would suggest they do is a better job of identifying who the decision maker is or the decision makers are, and get to them much earlier in the sales cycle. Second, when they get to that person, they need to engage them in strategic, proactive questioning versus tactical, reactive. What I mean by that, as opposed to coming in and pitching your product or talking about what you do, ask them to understand, well, gee, what are some of the key initiatives that your company is undertaking this year? That way you can start to think, well, how does my solution help them with their initiative? In your case, if they're leveraging technology, right? If they're on a cost savings initiative, if they're on a compliance initiative. So if you start to ask those kind of questions, what are some of the key initiatives? Why does somebody buy from you versus your competition? You know, what are you looking to accomplish this year? Then we get into the idea, we're not the show up and throw up idea. You know, we're actually into understanding a need, prioritizing that need, and then helping fulfill it for them. I think those are the big keys in B2B, and the ability to differentiate yourself, clearly differentiate yourself from your competition. Ask yourself the question, what is it that we do or my company does that your competition doesn't do, can't do, or won't do in the marketplace? And if you can articulate that value proposition effectively, then people know what box to put you in, and they know when to be able to reach out to you.
Awesome. So you have a new seminar coming up.
I do.
Tell us about it.
It is entitled, oddly enough, 6 Secrets to Market Dominance, and it's designed for business owners and sales and marketing leaders, and it's a hands-on seminar, so it's not just a talking head. We're actually working in a situation where people are going to do table topics, so they'll work with peers. There's going to be some breakout sessions where we'll segment them into the retail market versus the commercial market, so that people can talk to people that do things that they want to be able to do. And then there's going to be some individual assignments where people will work on their unique value proposition or be able to build their plan together so that they can take it out. The big thing that I want out of anytime we do a workshop is have people have tools or processes or concepts that they can put in action right away and see the kind of results they want.
Well, I've been to many of your seminars, and that's what I always leave with.
I thank you for that. And
Yeah.
we limit the seminar to 25 people
Right.
so that we have an optimal learning ratio,
Yeah.
and I think that works well. And what's fun for me is how other people connect with each other so they do business together after the fact.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
happened for me.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, Boyens.com. Boyens.com. Thank you so much,
Thank
John.
you so much. I appreciate it.
And, oh, I'm so sorry. We will be right back.